Alright, hello, it's Wendy Smith again. I am finally making another video. Hello, here I am. Okay, so I'm not very good with camera. I apologize for that, but I figure you don't really need to see me, you just need to see what I'm working on. So I have not worked with the Dylusions for quite some time, and I dug them out today because I felt like getting messy. And I found that many of these sprayers are not working. And it is because they've been sitting and they even had their caps on, but they still dried out. I do have some colors that are working. And so I'm just going to give you a really quick repeat of what I did once before, which is quick tutorial kind of on how to use these. So if you haven't seen the other video, and that's why some of these aren't working real good. As you can see, some are working better than others. See, some don't work at all. That one's not open, so that one should work just fine. Okay, so the way I like to use these for the most part is just to really start spritzing a piece of paper with some, and then also use some water. The water kind of activates the ink and makes it spread around real nice. And then if you want to get some motion going and get them mixing a little, a green and orange will make brown, but I'm okay with that. Now, one thing that I did not do or talk about in my other videos with Dylusions is they can actually be mixed and matched with the Tim Holtz Distress inks, or I'm sorry, Distress stains. And I have found that the Tim Holtz Distress stains have changed over a period of time, and so I found them in this packaging and also in this packaging. And as you can see, I added a label down here because it was so hard for me to read the color that I wanted it to all be consistent so I can find my colors. So I'm going to take a little of this bundled sage and show you. These are different because they're not in a sprayer. They have these little felt tips, and they can be blotted and rubbed. Now, these are not anywhere near the vibrancy of the Distress or the Dylusions, but they work the same. They're activated with water, and they will work just great with these. And so as an extension of my color palette, basically, I am using them as an extension so that I have more options. These come in a lot of different colors. This one's called Peeled Paint. As you can see, it's darker than the one I just used. But anyway, they do the same things. They're activated with water. See, it does its thing. They can be used same way. You can use them with stencils. And I'm sorry, I am already rambling and I forgot to start my timer. Last time I tried to make a video, I ran out of time, which didn't work very well for me, and I had to start over. Alright, so just trying to give you a really quick synopsis and show you that these things will work just fine. Let me show you on this blank piece of paper. You can do like this with stencils. You can rub them around. Okay. If you rub it on the paper, you can see that they're fairly vibrant, and they do most of the same things. I'm blotting that up a little, and then I'm going to do the water blot. Blot, blot, blot. As it dries, it'll have somewhat of a ghosting effect. Alright, basically that's that. If you want, I never like to waste ink, so I'm just going to spritz this a little bit more. pick up some of the wet ink, transfer it here, keep working. Keep wanting to grab that one. This one's open, we'll see if it works. I think I'm just going to have to take all these nozzles off and probably soak them in hot water, and I'm thinking that'll probably take care of, I'm sure it just got clogged up in here and dried up in there. So one thing I wanted to get to today, because we've kind of covered most of this in my other tutorials, is what do you do with your papers? Here's one I did in the last tutorial and didn't work out. What do you do with these? Well, first of all, they're pretty cool just by themselves. You can see lots of texture. And as you start building layers upon this, it's going to become a very neat project. Here's something that I have in the works. Not sure how I'm going to finish it, but this is a project that I started a while ago. I hope you can see this. So I started with a Dylusions sprayed background, got it fully dried. Then I did some, as you can see, the butterflies. Those are stamps. And when you do stamps, like woodblock stamps, you want to make sure that you use an archival ink. I've found that the Ranger archival ink works great, but you want it to be archival. I think there's some other words, but I always buy Ranger and it's archival. These are water resistant. So you can stamp and stamp on here, and if you get this wet again, these aren't going to run. So I did some stamping. The lady I drew freehand, and I drew off of it, drew in the music notes, drew in some flowers. So it's kind of hand-drawn, stamped, Dylusions, and then I went in with a white highlighter. And I'm still not sure how I want to finish this, but this is an art project that will eventually probably be framed or something like that. A couple other things I've done is I've taken the papers that I've got and I cut them up. And this is kind of my favorite way to use the Dylusions paper. You could use it in a scrapbook or whatever, but I am a card maker, and so I made these tags. I used a die cutter that makes a tag shape, and I cut it, and then I stamped it, and then this is a die cut piece from my Cricut, and I applied that on top and added a cute bow. This one is Dylusions background. Actually, I think it might be more of the distress stains. And then I did a stamp with embossing powder, and that is a little bird, and it says Seek Joy. This one says Be You. And then, well, you can put these on packages, or you can put these on a card. This is a card I made. The background here is Dylusions. The rest of it is not made from Dylusions, but as you can see, this card has a tag that I used a stress stain, and I did some embossing. But you could certainly take a card like this and take your tag. So if you had a card, you could put the tag on and then add a cute little thing here, and that would be enough. So that's just some ways you can use these. I'm probably about out of time. So I hope that this helps you to know what to do with these when you're done. And let me know if you think of many other things you can do. But you could easily put these in scrapbooks. You could do wall hanging projects. I mean, whatever your heart desire, really. So anyway, that's a little bit more about how I use my Dylusions and some of the fun stuff you can do with them.